Adelaide's 5AA.
Yeah, we got the Crows 6 coach here, Brenton Sanderson. We asked him in the break, you can fly a plane, Sando, you can drive the Crows, you can fly a plane. He said, well, it's only a little one. I said, a twin engine or a single? Oh, only a single. Anyone can fly one of them, Sando.
I've got a question from Brenton. It says, can we, in brackets Geelong, win the flag? All the best at Adelaide. I know Geelong will miss you. Can Geelong win the flag?
Oh, they certainly can. I think they'll go very well this week against the Eagles, and I think the boys are really fired up for a tilt at the grand final again.
Now, this is how superficial some people can be in this city. This is from Jude, one of our long-term listeners, regular. Brenton Sanderson may be the 6th to coach the Crows, but from my point of view, he's the best looking so far.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's the sort of stuff
Sam,
that
I like those sort of emails and SMS.
Let's talk about a couple. Mark Bickley, he's going to stay on.
Yeah, I was really, it was actually part of my presentation. I was really adamant with the group that if I was to get the job, that I'd love for Bix to still be involved. And I know he's an absolute legend of the football club. From what I hear, he's a great coach. So that was, and I said it in the press conference, but it is honest. I rang my family, then I rang Bix. So I spoke to Bix last night. He was tremendous. He's such a quality individual.
Isn't he ever?
He's going to obviously stay on board, and he'll be there right beside me. And I will really need his help next year, and that is, to be honest, because he knows the club inside out and he knows the list so well. So he'll be part of a lot of important discussions, I'm sure. And
you can mentor him, because the same thing happened to you with Chris Scott over the Geelong job, because you were the anointed one, didn't get it, and Scotty did.
Yeah, I had the same conversation with Chris Scott last year, which it's amazing how the wheel turns so quickly. But Scotty had to make the same phone call to me last year, so I knew what Bix was going through last night. And yeah, like I said, to his credit, he's a quality man. And
the other 3 assistants?
I did quickly meet him today. I do know them as people, but I don't really know them as coaches. So that's on our agenda over the next few days, is to sit down with those guys and just see where they're at and see what changes, if any, need to be made, and we'll just move ahead from there.
Is anyone that you really want to bring with you?
It's difficult for me to understand who I want to bring just yet, because I don't know the landscape. I just need to sit down with obviously Phil Harper and Stephen Trigg and the rest of the football department and just work out exactly.
Clean slate, that's a very diplomatic answer. A clean slate. There must have somebody who's a confidant, someone that you would like to be on this ride with you.
I can't really name names at all, Graham, but I've got some people that I want to put in place that I think will make the club better. And that's not necessarily coaches either. That's people in different roles that I know are going to make the footy club a better place. And I said it today, but I'm used to coming from an environment which demands excellence, and sometimes for people that can be a little confronting. But I think when you're involved in a program with me, you're going to see that I'm going to push you pretty hard, and I'm going to expect some honest and open feedback along the way. But at the same time, I need this club to improve really quickly if we're going to have final success quickly.
So that would be injuries, conditioning, injury prevention. The Crows have been smashed the last 2 years with that. Have you got an answer for those?
That's something we're going to talk about over the next few days.
Okay.
But it would be foolish for me to come in here today and say I'm going to make these changes when I haven't consulted anyone yet. So it is a team effort, and while I'm the senior coach, there is a lot of important people that should be involved in making these sort of decisions.
Gold Coast, they're going to give up pick 4. Do you trade Kurt Tippett?
What would you do, Rowey?
I would. If he's going to go at the end of next year, I would.
Okay. Well, I've made a comment today.
But I'd like to get Sam Day. I'd rather get him if you can.
Sam Day's a fantastic young player, yeah. I'd like him on my list, but I'd like Kurt Tippett too. I think I made the comment today. I prefer not to comment about individuals at the moment, because I haven't consulted. I haven't had a list management meeting yet. I haven't sat down with the guys and discussed it. But I've got my views, but I'm probably not going to talk to you about them today.
And Joel Selwood, when can we get him over?
He's on a 5:30 flight, so he'll be here soon. Yeah.
Stevie J.
When you've been around as long as you have, starting from such a young fella in elite programs, you've been coached by different people. You've taken little snippets. You know what to do. Yep. You know what worked for you. You definitely know what didn't work for you. And then there's something inside you that's bursting to get out in your own individuality and to express yourself as a coach. Yep. What are just a couple of things you've learnt from previous coaches that you will take, but the thing that's been suppressed that you haven't been able to release and now you can release as a senior coach, is there something there?
That's a really interesting question. I think I guess the best way to answer it is you're a player in the AFL system, and then you become a coach, and you start at the assistant level, and you see young players develop, and you get a bit of a taste for the thrill of coaching, and then it becomes, I'd love to be a senior coach. and share premiership success with a group of players and a group of people in a football department. And I've done it, and it's addictive. I said it today. Once you get one, you want two. And when you get two, you want three. And it's just, I mean, for me personally, being in the last 5 prelim finals, it just becomes not a routine, but it's something that you're just really passionate about. And it does keep you awake at night sometimes because you just want to get back there. So that's hopefully some of that rubs off. But I guess the one guy, Graham, that's been the biggest influence would be Mark Thompson, and I probably would expect that I'd have to coach a little bit like him, only because he coached me for such a long period of time and obviously sat next to him in the coach's box and was his right-hand man for a number of years at Geelong. So he's probably the one guy that I learnt the most from and probably would take the most out of. And
is that why Geelong have been so successful?
Geelong has been successful for a number of reasons, and you couldn't put it down to one point. For one, the players are really exceptional, and obviously they have enormous talent, but they're really hard on each other. And I think it's probably one thing you've heard a lot from me today is that I love confrontation, and I love people challenging each other. And you know, the great thing, if you think back when Ben Graham and Tim McGrath were fullback and centre half back for Geelong, you had Matthew Scarlett and Tom Harley come in as kids and just push them to take their spots. And I want young players at the Adelaide Football Club to have respect for their senior players, but also to really desire to come in and replace them. So I expect a lot of competition through the summer. I'm not going to hold the young boys back. I want to see them spike, and I think it's going to happen pretty quickly.
So Buckley's got Malthouse, Hurd's got Bomber, Vossi needs someone. You're a rookie coach. Your senior assistant will be Mark Bickley. There's no Rocket E. There's no Neil Craig. There's no one in the wings. Is that what we're reading into that?
I can't comment on that at the moment, Rowey. Only that at the moment I'm the senior coach, and I know for sure that we're going to I know the club's going to ensure that I've got the right people around me.
Excellent.
Part of my presentation was just give me innovative and creative people, and people that love a challenge and come up with fresh new ideas. So we can't just chase our tail all the time. We've got to make sure that we are ahead of the AFL trends and make sure that people are chasing us.
Do you like the Ray McLean model?
Leading teams has got its place in a football club, but I think it can, it works initially, and then I think it can become a little bit challenging. So there's probably a little bit of that in my leadership code and the way that I see leadership in a football club, but at the same time it can be a little bit too in your face. So we'll sort of see how my leadership rubs off.
Now, talking to you off air, you're here on Monday full time. You go back on the weekend, then next Monday, you're back full time.
Well, I'm sort of here now full time. I flew over this morning and I effectively started today. I'm going to shoot back to Melbourne on Friday, watch the games, watch Friday night and Saturday, and then I'll be back here Monday full on into it. So tomorrow I've got list management meetings. I'm going to try and catch up with some players when I'm back in Melbourne, but just ensure that the Adelaide Football Club's not left behind. I know they've been through the process of getting a senior coach. Now that's done, let's get on with business. And
the ladies want to know, you're not married, but you're in a relationship?
Yes, I'm in a relationship, yeah.
No kids yet?
No kids, no.
So what happened? Does your partner come with you?
Yep, she'll be here. She will? She'll come over. She won't come over on Monday, but she'll come over eventually, yeah.
And your family's all here, I guess, aren't they? So
you're a Blackwood boy, aren't you?
Yeah, I grew up in the Adelaide Hills, yeah. So that was, I haven't been back in South Australia apart from 2006 when I was with Port Adelaide, but I think 1993, end of 93. So it's been a long time, but I'm looking forward to getting back. And
is all have you forgiven us?
Cornesy sacked you, mate.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
No, he did.
Wasn't it?
You traded him. You went up the hills, went and met Mum and Dad, and you said he's off to Collingwood. He had no say in it, the poor little 19-year-old.
No, we. I probably wouldn't be sitting here if Graham didn't sack me. So it's.
You've always said things happen for a reason.
Lee Matthews was part of the selection panel. He sacked you too.
That's exactly right. I must admit, sitting in there in that room, and with obviously Trigg and Pays and Smart and Mitchell, and obviously Lee Matthews, who's probably the greatest player ever to play, and coached 4 premierships, and he's asking me questions about coaching, and you can't help but be intimidated. This guy is the best of the best. So he did really challenge me in that meeting, which I appreciate, and I must have answered the questions semi-okay because I'm sitting here today.
Well, Sander,
congratulations. It's just great
Fantastic.
To see. I tweeted last night that kids grow up, and it's amazing. Like 20 years later, kids grow up and next minute they're running your footy clubs and running your lives. And
well, I said to Sando out there in the passageway, did you ever think when you were a 17-year-old, the first year of the Crows, I was your teammate, he was your coach, that 20 years later we'd be interviewing you as the coach of the Adelaide Crows?
No, it's crazy. And I mean, I do understand how important this football club is for this state. So I just ensure the members and supporters that I won't let them down. You know, we'll work as hard as we possibly can to ensure success.
Well, I'm ready. Let's go. Brenton Sanderson, new Crows coach. Thanks.
I'm ready.
Good luck, mate.
Peel my top off.
Thanks, guys.